I'm Albert Towell from Summer Associate Hub, and this is Practice in Point One, where we interview law firm attorneys all about their practice in under 6 minutes or 0.1 billable hours. So the first question is easy. Tell us your name, your title, your practice area, and where you work.
Thanks. My name's Karen Deschaine. I am a partner at Wilson Sonsini. I have a general corporate and securities practice focused on the life sciences industry.
Great. So take us through what does that mean to work in a corporate practice in the life sciences industry?
It basically means that I am purely a transactional lawyer. I work with companies in life sciences, and those are therapeutics, medical device, diagnostic tools mostly, a little bit of digital health as well. And I work with those companies on everything transactional. I incorporate companies. I help them raise money through venture financings, IPOs, being a public company, and a lot of other transactions, including their exit transaction, which would be an acquisition in most cases for this industry, as well as employment agreements, commercial agreements, that sort of thing. Most of my clients would consider me their outside general counsel.
Very cool. So take us through, I guess maybe there isn't one, but take us through a typical deal that you'd work on from beginning to end.
Yeah, probably the most common thing that I work on is a private financing. So venture funds, most of biotech is funded by venture funds until they're public and can access the public markets. And so right now I'm working on 4 financings for private venture-backed biotech companies, and they start at the term sheet stage, or maybe sometimes even before, where I'll advise the client on their investor pitch, that sort of thing, and then negotiate a term sheet with the investors. And then we negotiate the documents. Venture financings include a lot of documentation because the investors get a lot of rights when they invest. And then moving that to closing, there's some government filings after that, and then working with what's usually a newly constituted board of directors, because investors in these companies typically join the board of directors.
Very cool. So when you go to work in the morning, what is your typical day like?
It is very varied, if that makes sense. I often have a lot of things scheduled for the day, including meetings, telephone calls with clients. I often spend a lot of the day reviewing documents that the associate team that's working with me on a client will put together. I typically work, I would say, on 8 to 10 clients a day. It's because of the nature of being the outside general counsel, things come up. It's very rare that I spend an entire day working on one deal or one transaction.
That's great. Keeps it interesting. So
certainly,
law students always want to know, what do the associates on your deal team do?
Yeah, so I rely on associates a lot. Most often, because I'm typically company counsel, although sometimes I represent investors. But the core of my practice is company representation, and so we assemble a team of associates at the firm that will work on that client with me for everything that comes up. So those associates are helping me draft and review documents. They're also interacting with the client directly. Associates join me on negotiation calls. Associates are on the phone with investors counsel or opposing counsel, either with me or by themselves. It's really ends up being a team approach in my practice.
That's great. So what is the most interesting deal or specific legal issue that you've encountered in your work?
Yeah, I thought about what I would say to this question, and I don't know that it would be interesting to everybody, but for somebody who's a corporate transactional lawyer, I don't have a big case win that I can point to. But I did a couple years ago. I was working with a private therapeutics company, and we were taking them public. So we were working on their IPO. At the same time, there was a parallel process for that company to be acquired. Ultimately, the company sold. It was the biggest transaction for a preclinical company, dollars-wise, ever. It was a $2 billion transaction, and we didn't take them public. But in any case, I got to work really closely with management through that whole process, and it was a great outcome.
That's incredible. So one of the best questions for law students: why did you choose to be a corporate lawyer in the life sciences industry?
Yeah, so I went to law school to be a corporate transactional lawyer. I'm one of those lawyers that never wanted to be in a courtroom. Sciences kind of happened for me because of geography. I'm based in our San Diego office, and this is a biotech industry heavy town. And so I got to just for geographic reasons, really focus on the industry. I don't have a science background. I have an economics degree and an MBA. But I've learned the industry just because that's what I do. And it has been really rewarding. I feel very fortunate that I get to work with scientists primarily that run these companies. And over the years, when I look at it, most of the companies I've worked with have been oncology companies. And so I feel fortunate, and it is an expertise that I've picked up over time. I've been practicing for 16 years. And so now it's my passion as well, despite not being a scientist myself.
That's great. Well, thanks to Karen Deschaine, great insights into what it's like to be a corporate lawyer in the life sciences industry, and I appreciate you joining.
Thank you very much, Albert.